Today I'm going to be trying out Modern Ubuntu because I want to see what it's actually like, because there's a lot of hate for it, including coming from me about it because of some things the company's done and because of the snap packages and some even because of the bloatware. But I know a lot of people still like it because it's very user friendly and it's really easy to use. So I'm on the downloads page, and as you can see, the ISO is 5 full gigabytes, and it ships with the latest kernel 6.11, new GNU 47 desktop, and adds some other features. Like, its system requirements seem pretty high. It needs 4 gigabytes of RAM, 25 gigs of space, and 2 gigahertz processor. Alright, so I hit download, and it looks like the download started. I'm not a big fan of how it tries to prompt you to sign up for the newsletter. I was unable to record the installation process because I don't have a capture card. Maybe it's better that I didn't, because it took forever. This is probably because my machine only has USB 2.0, and it was off of a really old, not really old, but really cheap USB drive that was really slow, and it took forever to boot the installer even. So I'll just show you the setup process a little bit and like the introduction to the operating system. Alright, so here's the setup. And you can see I'm using the latest 24.10. Please don't share my data. Maps. Alright, that's all. A little less than KDE and other stuff. Using it just feels like normal GNOME, except with the sidebar on the side. And I'm used to using keyboard shortcuts anyway, so it doesn't really affect me, but it is just a little different. But the main differences don't come until you get into package management, which I'll talk a little bit about later. The settings in Ubuntu are just basic GNOME settings, nothing special. Bluetooth I don't have. Basic display settings, basic sound settings, basic power profiles, and hot corners and gestures and stuff like that. Package management on Ubuntu feels like on any other distro. It looks nice, has good interface for installing packages, or you can just use the command line like any other Debian-based distro. But there's one problem. You guessed it, snaps. One of my main problems with Snap is it forces you to use them, even if you try to install it with apt. And as you can see here, I already uninstalled Firefox Snap, and yet it's still saying the Snap version's already installed. My other gripe with Snap packages is that they have a folder right in the middle of the home directory. I mean, how hard can it be to just put a dot in front of the folder and hide it? I mean, literally every other thing does that. I know this wasn't a very thorough review, but there really isn't a whole lot to say about it. It's really just like any other Debian-based distro, except with a really annoying packaging format. Even though it's really not that bad, I wouldn't recommend it to new users because of the annoyings with snap packages and some other quirks about it, but I would rather recommend something like Mint or Pop! OS, because those are geared towards beginners, and Pop! OS has some really easy NVIDIA driver setup for people who need that. It's really not something I would use or even recommend to someone else, but if you're okay with all its quirks, it can work for you, and it really doesn't matter which distro you use, and you can even remove the snap packages if you really want to.